41 shots, 2 people killed, including a city police officer, and no criminal charges. Tonight, we're getting a better look at this surveillance video of the shooting earlier this year, right outside the Select Lounge in downtown Baltimore. City police released that video late last night. And ABC 2 News' Christian Schaefer has been analyzing what it shows and what it doesn't. Chris, we know the family of that officer, William Torbett, is not satisfied with the state's attorney's decision not to prosecute.
Well, for one thing, Jamie, you know that incident happened early in the morning, January 9th. They're very upset that it took 7 months to release that surveillance video. They and their supporters also believe it confirms what they've been saying all along, that Officer Torbett didn't have to die in that parking lot outside the Select Lounge. The City Watch surveillance camera sits at the corner of Utah and West Franklin Street. Early on the morning of January 9th, the camera was pointed west on Franklin when the operator noticed a disturbance outside the Select Lounge 1 block away. It's important to note that at this stage, before any shots have been fired, you can see several police officers at the scene. We counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cruisers parked near the Select Lounge. Community activist Darren Muhammad has been working with Officer Torbett's family since the incident.
We were told there were no officers here and that Officer Torbett was the first officer to arrive on the scene.
Officer Torbett was there. You can see the handcuffs attached to his belt. A man in a white shirt, an associate of the other man killed in the incident, Sean Gamble, clearly takes a swing at the officer, knocking him back. The camera zooms in. During this time, prosecutors say Officer Torbett got into a struggle with Sean Gamble. By the time the camera refocuses, shots have been fired. There's no audio on the tape, but you can see people running away from the scene. The camera swings away. When it turns back, several women can be seen on the ground having been shot, and there is Officer Torbett on his back, arms flailing. Family members tell ABC 2 News the other officers should have recognized Torbett, who'd worked with them in the Central District for 9 years.
The family was told that the police officer who shot my brother was talking to my brother 5 minutes before the incident occurred, so he definitely knew who my brother was. My brother did have his badge on, and he also had his handcuffs shown visible where everyone should know that he was an officer.
This point in the tape is the most disturbing for family members. You can see an officer firing his weapon, apparently at Officer Torbett, who's still down. Then you can see another shot fired down into the officer. The officer holsters the weapon, then kneels next to Officer Torbett, obviously aware at this point what has happened. But Darren Muhammad says what's most disturbing is what he says the state's attorney's decision not to prosecute the officers means for city police in the future.
So the officers can shoot and, you know, until that person is actually killed, is what he essentially said with his decision or his indecisions and his response, of course, to this horrific incident that occurred.
Now, the state's attorney determined that those 4 officers who shot Officer Torbett thought their lives were in danger. It is important to note that there is much more evidence other than just that video, including forensic evidence and interviews with witnesses. There's also an independent review of the incident by outside law enforcement experts. That's still going on. No timetable yet for when we'll see the results of that review. Members of Officer Torbett's family say they are still considering their legal options. Christian Schaefer, ABC 2 News.